Live from New York, it's Ask This Engineer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Ask Engineer, your favorite 1 hour long live electronics show, the longest and only.
I think it's the only one.
Electronic.
I don't think anyone wants to do this, so they're just like, you know what? Because you'd have to start now, and then you have to do it for like 10 years. So.
But we're doing it.
Yeah.
It's me, Lady Ada. With me is Mr. Lady Ada, as usual, wearing black here in the Adafruit factory. This is where we do all the design, testing, shipping, manufacturing, prototyping, R&D, all that good stuff that gets the tasty electronics you know and love into your grubby little paws. We've got an exciting show for you tonight. All sorts of news, new products, videos, and more. Here to tell you all about that is Mr. Lady Ada. What's on tonight's show?
On tonight's show, the code is Plank, 10% off in the Adafruit store. Plank is a small measurement of things, but this is big savings.
This is that meme everyone's doing for like 2 years ago, where they would like.
No, this is a different
plank.
No, this is Plank is in the scientific.
Well, people would take videos of themselves measuring universal constants.
No, I don't think that's what it was.
Different?
But the code is 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Maybe
Everything except for Ada
else.
Boxes, and of course, gift certificates. It supports us, an open source hardware company in New York City.
Look at
manufacturing, doing electronics, getting tariffed. You know what? You love it.
Yeah. we rely on your support.
Yeah.
Not going out of business.
Not yet. Show and tell people around the world sharing their projects. Lady Ada will talk about that. Back in the mailbag, we'll stop by. We read your letters to us. More. Time travel. Look back in the world of makers, hackers, artists, engineers. Current news. Main New York City. Some factory footage and more from around Adafruit. 3D printing. New products. We got a top secret tonight.
Yeah.
It's electrifying.
Ooh.
We'll answer your questions over on Discord. Don't forget, it's adafruit.it/Discord. Celebrating a year over there, over 7,000 people. You want to get there no matter what. And at the end, we will give away something. All that and more on, you guessed it,
Yep.
Ask an Engineer.
All right.
Okay, so, like I said, the code is a Plank, and that's 10% off. When you're on checkout, if we have stuff in stock, you get free stuff. I think right now it's permaprotos, so...
we have Circuit Playgrounds in stock.
We might have it. We might.
Maybe. Okay.
It
But
depends.
if you'll know on checkout,
Yeah.
it'll tell you what's available for you to get as a freebie. $99 or more, as long as we
Still
have...
permaprotos.
We have permaprotos for $99
Yeah.
or more. At $199 or more, you always get free UPS ground shipping in the continental U.S. That's always available because it's UPS is around. And while supplies last, $299 or more, you get a free Circuit Playground Express, our go-to board for learning and playing and creating electronics using MakeCode, drag and drop programming, Circuit Python, which is Python on microcontrollers, or of course the Arduino IDE. So many ways to use the dozens of sensors and LEDs on that board.
But if we don't have that, we might not have them for the free deal, but you can still probably pick one up. That's how it goes. Okay, next up for shipping, UPS ground is the way to go in the U.S. or postal, and for international, DHL. If you're in Manhattan before 11 a.m. and you're in a select zip code, you'll see that on checkout you can get same-day delivery. Okay, Lady Ada, people around the world show and share their project every single week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, show and tell.
That's right.
What was on the show and tell this week? Who shared what? What type of things were happening?
I'm glad you asked. Well, we had some very exciting new projects, and some people came by to show us their progress. Noah and Pedro came by, Adafruit peeps. They showed off their Lego Dragon Bot. They've been playing around with Qriket and Circuit Playground Express and 3D printing, and they've 3D printed Lego holders for our TT motors, our low-cost common motors, and the Qriket, so that they can plug these pieces onto Lego standard shapes and pieces and wheels and gears and stuff, and make them move. So it's kind of we like cardboard, but maybe you already have a kit of Lego parts, and you're like, I want to automate and roboticize and make my Legos interactive. Well, you can go to your makerspace, 3D print a couple parts, and snap fit all of our robotics pieces onto your Lego project. So we'll show a video about that, and there'll be a guide as well. Adam is working on a transmission SEM. It's you picked it up a couple months ago. It's got like 500,000 times magnification, and it's can do like spectroscopy. And he's working on the final alignment, having some issues. Turns out like one of his high voltage supplies is like 2 volts. 2 volts is not very high. So he went through the last couple of weeks and has just been going, wire by wire, pin by pin, and found the one bad transistor, and he held it up, and we all shamed that transistor. Now, we felt bad for it because it had lived its full life, but it finally gave up the ghost, let out its magic blue smoke. Time to get a new one, so hopefully he'll get that scanning electron microscope back up and running to be showed off next week. Phil B is on a quest to collect old old computers that can be put in shadow boxes. They have to be small and thin. So like no gigantic SPARC stations, no Crays, no VAX machines. He's going to, he got a Tandy 100 and he got, which is Bill Gates' last official project, and he got an Apple IIc Plus, which I actually didn't know about it. It came after the Apple IIc, one of the shortest lived Apple IIs and also the last one that they released. And those are the two machines so far. I have other suggestions for thin machines that can be mounted on the wall in the shadow box. Yeah, post them up in Discord, and maybe Phil B will pick them up. He's looking for good-looking machines. ReefPi has an update on the ReefPi project. Now has a dosing system using a Raspberry Pi Zero and 2 peristaltic pumps. The Raspberry Pi is running a bunch of software. You can schedule when to dose it, so you can do calcium dosing, so I guess you have to increase or decrease the amount of calcium in the water, so it can measure the calcium and then add more, or if the water level dips, it can add more water. So really good, because he apparently has had this reef for a very long time, and he wants people to go on vacation and not worry about something happening to the reef. I did have a backup reef friend, but also a backup dosing system.
Yeah.
Could be great. VJ is working on her motorized Lazy Susan and is redoing it in CircuitPython. She likes it. She's digging and hanging out on Discord. Wants to add some LEDs to give her feedback on the speed. So maybe that's the next step. Just motorized Lazy Susan. So she's in it to win. She's working on this project, and she's gonna use it for VJing. And then Matt played us out with his epic project. He got a Raspberry Pi, a Pi camera, and a VT220, one of those old, extremely heavy, doesn't mount on the wall terminals, and hooked up the Pi to the VT220 and got a selfie cam that displays an ASCII. He's got Discord on the command line.
Turns out there is a way to get Discord into terminals. Check out the live chat.
Everyone who's like, I want IRC, well, now it looks like IRC,
Yeah.
so it's as good as it's going to get.
Yeah,
And he made a music visualizer, so it looked really cool, all green phosphor on a background and kind of slow refresh. Looked great.
Okay.
Reuse those old electronics.
All participants on the show and tell, get an SE on the show and tell sticker. Email support at adafruit.com. We'll send you out one. And don't forget, we're there every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, where you can show and share your projects. Part of our Adafruit live series of shows. JP is off this week. He's on vacation. However, if you tuned in on Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, JP did the AdaBox unboxing. This is a very sped up version of it. And that was for the AdaBox folks. Now, let me mention this. Not everyone got their AdaBox yet, because we are shipping out thousands. So you probably got a notification preparing shipment, and we're almost through them all. So thanks for your patience. Appreciate it in advance. There's just a lot of them.
Yes, this was our biggest AdaBox ever.
It was the most ever. We also jam-packed the AdaBox with stuff. We have a choice. We can not tell you we're shipping it when. We can also take less subscribers, but instead we're just like, we're preparing your shipment, it's getting shipped, and then it's happening within the next few business days. So hang in there.
As Shigeru Miyamoto said, a bad AdaBox is bad forever, but a good AdaBox is, if this is late, it's just late once.
Yeah, it's just because there's a lot.
There's just so much.
There's a lot to go.
And actually, there was so much, we couldn't even fit it into the box. We had to put stuff in the outer package because we couldn't fit.
It's a box of boxes.
So many goodies.
Yeah,
but,
and like folks are in the chat, they're like, oh yeah, I got my tracking number now, it's arriving by Friday, and some folks are about to get their tracking number, so anyways.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
For holding tight.
That's what it is.
Get it soon.
And then in lieu of JP being around, we do a Make Code Minute. Sometimes they're a couple minutes every week. And I wanted to play one of these because it's a really neat way to see a couple of the cool features of Make Code, drag and drop programming, also JavaScript. But you can also use the background of the programming environment as a camera.
Yes.
And that's kind of neat. So you can do all the things with like steppers and motors and things with Qriket now, and you can display learning the code in a very neat way. And we do that on JP's show every week, so I wanted to play this video. So here we go. Take it away, past JP.
Time for the Make Code Minute. For the Make Code Minute today, we're going to look at running a solenoid using the Qriket. So what I've done is selected from the Qriket category this Qriket analog write drive 1 to 0. And what this is going to do is it's going to tell our solenoid drive, and we have the 4 drives on the Qriket right here, 1, 2, 3, and 4, to send anywhere from 0 to 1023 as the value. So this is the full 5 volts at the full current that it can supply. So now what I'm going to do is add a little bit of a delay. So I'm going to grab the pause loop from loops, and this is going to, let's delay this for 100 milliseconds. Actually, this default is good. Then I will duplicate the Qriket analog write drive 1 and send it down to 0. So what this means is we're going to get this little 1/10 of a second tick of the solenoid energizing and flicking the little shaft out. And now I'll add another delay, and this can be the sort of pause between clicks. So let's make this how about half a second. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is download, and I'm going to save that over to the board. Okay, so I'm downloading the code, and now I've got the solenoid plugged into drive 1. All right, so with that code right there, you'll see the solenoid gets energized and clicks just for 1/10 of a second and then returns every half of a second. And that is how you drive a solenoid using Make Code on Qriket with Circuit Playground Express. Time for the Make Code Minute.
And that was our Make Code Minute Plus. Back in the mailbag is stopping by. We've got a letter. Someone sent it to us. We read this at State of the Fruit every single week. We also read them to you. Just want to say thanks for your hard work, especially on getting started with and the code examples. This was my first time to order from Adafruit products. It's really exciting, Harry.
Okay,
Thanks, Harry.
Glad that you like the getting started tutorials and code examples. That's what
That's
they're
right.
there for.
Okay.
That's why you love the fruit.
Don't forget we're over on Python, the Python chat, and other things in the world of Discord, adafruit.it/Discord. Speaking of Python, that's why I was looking at the photo of Python. CircuitPython stuff this week. I think the biggest news, we covered this in our newsletter, if you haven't signed up on adafruitdaily.com, is stuff with Moo.
Ooh.
So,
It's getting close.
yeah, you can go to Made with Moo.
Codewith.moo.
Yeah.
And madewith.moo.
Yeah. You can go to either one of those sites, but one of the things that's happening right now is on Made with Moo. They announced that they are now in their release candidate 1. There's translations, there's more. If you want a very simple, easy to use beginner editor.
And they're heading towards 1.0, which is very exciting. It's a very intense
now
part of their release cycle.
We've been chatting with the developers, Entol over there, and others.
Carlos.
He's done an amazing job.
We've
getting
submitted code.
Moo out the door, and so I guess as because we're like pen pals, you know, people who do all this stuff. They sent us these shirts. So this is yours.
Okay.
This is mine. I'm going to put on the overhead because they did such a good job. So check this out. I was going to wear them, but I'm just like, oh, we won't be able to show them the overhead. So this is Lady Ada's. So
it's
this
like a little snake.
Well, so this is, I want to go to this. This is the Moo logo. This is, just to give you an idea, this is it, right?
That's right, yeah.
And then yeah, there's
da,
a little Lady
da,
Ada. Little
lip ring.
Little lip ring. And then here's
Pink
me.
hair.
And it's Code with .moo.
That's
and then
you.
there's Made with
You get the little scraggly hair.
Yeah, that's
beard.
me. It has the little
The wide eyes, full of terror.
spots. Yeah, I'm going great. And then lastly, maybe I'll hold this
You
one
look
up.
great for a snake, though.
Yeah. And then last up, this is my favorite logo that Moo uses, and then the QR code goes to Code with Moo.
But yeah, it's got that cool skull and it's got the teeth.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Entol. That was really nice of you. And please keep testing out Moo. There's still a little bit of time in case something comes up. But what a fantastic editor. They're wrapping up the last things to make it, the certificates, how they work with like Apple and Windows and all that. But you can download the release candidate 1.
And be,
right now.
if you do find bugs, open up issues on GitHub, just be respectful to the work that they do, and they may not be able to fix the bug instantly, but they'll get to it as soon as they can.
Yeah.
There's only a couple volunteers working on this project, and they work very, very hard.
You know, I think right now, given that like the person who started Python, like he's like, I'm out.
Guido Van Rossum, yeah.
He's like, I'm out. Like you have to figure this out yourself. Like I'll still contribute code. You know, it's one of those things where like, yeah, it turns out, and I think this is why you're going to hear this from a lot of people who do open source and a lot of people who do actually sharing anything. I think for the folks that are cool to each other, maybe this gets boring to hear, but this is really good emphasis. I think we can all kind of collectively fix something. So it's free software, and the people are very motivated to fix it and work on it. Yeah. But you know what's not fun is just like people being mean to each other. Some of it's like they're not used to being nice to each other online. We've just had years of it being, you know, great to be mean. Same thing with like, you know, you're on Twitter, everyone's kind of mean. And, you know, in person, I don't think anyone would say a lot of these things. But, you know, this happens to us. We have open source code and someone's like, oh, your stuff sucks. It's like, and then like a minute later, like, oh, sorry, like I didn't even have plugged in. But immediately, it's like, there's not even a hesitation between, on like, you know how long it takes to like type and like, it's easier not to do anything. I can't believe there's more people being mean.
I don't know why we do over. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why
it takes more effort to like, let me go over the keyboard and say something sucks, and then later on, and it's like, oh, you know, sorry, I had the wrong cable. Well, like you could have just like waited and just like maybe tried the cable before you did that. Anyways, so it's
the internet.
Well, you know what?
But you can change it.
It's yeah.
Let's change it together.
There's certain things we can't change. There's certain things we can change.
That is true.
The internet we can. This isn't, you know,
our part of the internet.
Heat death of the universe and like you
Planck's
know,
constants.
faster than light speed travel. You know, that's a tough one to work on. Traveling billions of miles away, really tough. Not going to happen in our lifetimes.
But
internet we can fix it.
Yeah.
Everyone can collectively get together tomorrow and just be nicer.
Let's do it, everybody. So
yeah. Or anyways, so just get banned. Okay. Time travel.
What's new in the world of time
travel?
Yeah.
Time travel. So you're wondering why the code was Planck?
Why is the code Planck?
Well, so I posted this up on the blog. This is a baby picture of the universe. This is what the universe looked like when it was about 400,000 years old. I mean, you know, give or take 20,000 years.
That's very young.
Yeah. So there's this satellite Planck. It measures background radiation, and these are little variances that were in the very beginning of the universe, and that's where matter kind of settled in, and that's where the big structures came out.
So are the blue spots the less dense or less hot?
I believe the blue ones are emptier, and the red ones are where more things collected.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's kind of like a balloon if you like draw things on it, and then it blows up.
Yeah.
You know, the things spread apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's a neat little view. And then later on, like things condense, and then you get like galaxies. And you know what's cool about this is like when you read all of it, it's like it's an amazing achievement.
Yeah.
Fun side note: Damien George, the person who made MicroPython, worked on stuff like this.
Oh, cool.
He's a PhD in physics and cosmic background radiation stuff. But you know what's really funny is you read this and then you get to the end and then like they're like, yeah, this is kind of neat. It found all the stuff that we thought was there, including we have no idea what the universe is made of. We actually have no idea.
The more we research, the less we know.
They're like, well, it's like dark, cold energy, dark matter, and like 5% is just the solid stuff. And it's just like, yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
Like we don't know. Like,
we're really good at the electromagnetic spectrum, but
yeah.
Beyond that, it's
we just
kind
don't
of
know.
tough on us.
So that's why that's there. And then another side note: a million years ago for Make, I think it was issue 3, I wrote how to print the universe, and this is when this thing was first launching. So this is like a long time ago, over 10 years ago.
10 years ago. Wait,
so
what would you do?
Well, you would get one of the original cosmic background printouts, and you would use a web service to make it a biggest poster. And my idea was like one day we could just print an actual size one.
Oh yeah.
You just have to wait until
the universe expands enough.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, that's why the code's Planck.
Okay.
That was released today by the.
Planck Institute?
Yeah, it's ESA.int.
Oh, the European Space Agency.
Yeah, if you want to check that out. Okay. Right. Also, in Maker news and more, our AR app is out. Yay!
Wow!
And we have a video.
What is it?
Well, it's Adabot, and it plays electronic tips and more. And you can get it in the App Store right now.
I'd love to see a video.
Yep, I'm going to play it.
Hello, I'm Adabot. Tap me to hear an electronics tip. Digital oscilloscopes are amazing. But sometimes an analog oscilloscope is the best way to view the fine detail of tiny distortions in signals. Coin cells are handy little batteries, but they can only supply about 20 milliamps before capacity starts degrading fast.
Okay, so that's in the App Store right now. Lady Ada, we're an open source hardware company. We have 1,515 guides.
Ooh, that's nice and symmetric.
What's on the big board this week?
Okay, we have about 6 new guides this week. We got the Feather M4 Express guide. Wrote that up. I think that was from last week, but check it out again if you have a Feather M4. Shows you how to install CircuitPython, Arduino, all the pinouts, what you get on this SAMD51 super chip. People are loving the SAMD51s. We are keeping them in stock the best we can. Got last week's project, the 3D printed mount for Qriket. As we mentioned, Noah and Pedro are working on even more mounts that are maybe Lego compatible, so you'll see more stuff coming from them soon. But start out with that one because that will get you your appetite whetted. The Papercraft Zoetrope with Qriket. A very simple project. You can use MakeCode or CircuitPython. Spin a wheel and then you make these paper cutouts. You can craft it all out of paper to make a zoetrope. We also did the stroboscope last week. That was a project from JP and that had flashing lights. This one you cut the strip of paper with little animation cells and Edward Muybridge sort of kind of popularized this way of showing motion. It's a very early way of basically film strip. It's the origins of film. So if you're interested in building that, check it out. It's an easy circuit playground and Qriket project. We've got CircuitPython 101, basic built-in data structures. One of the amazing things about Python, especially coming from Arduino, where you're really on your own, if any data structure you want, you have to kind of DIY, is lists and tuples and structures and hash tables are all built into CircuitPython. And especially if you've never used them before, you may not realize how powerful they are. This guide goes through using hardware to demonstrate when these unique data structures, tuple lists, and dictionaries, hash tables are used. So check them out. They're incredibly powerful, and they're built into Python.
Tuple's my favorite because you can use that with the plotter and moo.
Again, something
really
that
easy
is
to graph.
Really challenging to do in Arduino. You'd have to create a new class. This is not easy to take data and put it together, but Python is excellent for it, which is why I think Python is used so much by the scientific community. It's so easy to, you have a timestamp and a data, and maybe you have XYZ. You can keep that together, and again,
when you think about it, it makes sense that Python, because we're writing about this, and we're talking to some of our resellers and partners about, wow, like Python's really working out on hardware, because there's a few things going for it. Built in the world of science, and what has happened with electronics? Well, a lot of it is sensors. So
it's moving to data, it's moving to processing as you see there's more.
And then being online. So like those two things together, like
these
being
are
online and sensor stuff.
And exception handling and the fact that it's dynamically typed. All these things, they release your project into a wonderful free world where you're no longer constrained. So check out this CircuitPython 101 guide. So even if you've done Python before, or if you've played with CircuitPython, you may learn something. I also got the Hello World of Robotics Qriket. You've got your Qriket. You want to get started in like 5 to 10 minutes with MakeCode or CircuitPython. You just want to get it moving, make some noise, make some lights. This is a step-by-step guide to get you to that hello world of robotics with your Qriket.
Yep.
We also have from David Stells using Qriket and Adafruit I/O together. You can use your ESP8266 or M0 Wi-Fi Feather with the Qriket to make internet-connected robots. Maybe something finds when you have an email and then moves a flag, or maybe you have a reef and you want to send a message through Adafruit I/O to turn on the pump and add more calcium.
Yeah.
A perfect example of when you'd want to use Adafruit I/O and Qriket together to create internet-connected
and
robotics.
Shout out to Dave, who's in the chat and Discord. If you're in Discord, say hi to Dave. Good work on the guides this week, Dave.
These two guides are awesome.
Yeah.
I wrote up the guide for the Adafruit e-ink display breakouts. I've just been meaning to. Arduino and CircuitPython code in there, so you can take your e-ink display and display text, graphics, and images. And right before the show, from Mike Borella as a follow-on to the Make It Move with Qriket, which was an incredibly popular guide. People really loved that guide. We now have Make It Glow with Qriket. You heard of these things, NeoPixels. You have a Qriket board. you want to have a robot that not only moves, but maybe glows, has some LEDs that do something, and you want to get started in, again, 5 to 10 minutes using MakeCode and CircuitPython. Show you how to wire up those NeoPixels and show you how to get them glowing super fast, make some rainbows and maybe have some colors, and then we'll add to the guides as people give us feedback for stuff that they're looking for. So we've got a ton of guides for you this week.
Yeah, and then this is for you ladies. Someone likes the CircuitPython with Raspberry Pi. We just got started on that. So
yep, it's
cool
happening.
Stuff. Okay, let's do some factory footage on the Adafruit factory.
Would love to.
Yeah, we've got some things. Here we go. This one, this is one of our Zotrips. You'll see the guide, which is on our site right now. We also have some videos, more of those coming out.
Ooh, look.
Yeah, and we also have the AR app in action. This is using a thermal camera.
We're debugging a Metro M0 that had a super hot regulator. So we have this handy thermal camera.
Yeah.
See position,
Too hot.
just a little over. Yeah, you can see.
Okie dokie, and we have some more. This is an oven transfer. This is using one of these nice 360 cameras.
You can see those boards popping in.
Yeah.
Go, 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 go.
Zoom, zoom. And this is always fun. Yeah.
Selective. Yeah. Blue. I don't remember it being blue before. I guess just depends on what the what's in the air.
Yeah.
Maybe bits of the PCB mask. Whoa.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Just slow motion in a little bit.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then finally, as always, here is outside the window. This is a beautiful sunrise outside the windows where the pick place is. Fall asleep or wake up too in the mornings.
Good morning, New York.
Okay, 3D printing. 3D printing. On page have a video, and then a speed up. So we're gonna do both of those.
Okay.
Here we go.
Hey, what's up guys? In this project, we'll take a look at some 3D printed mounts for the Adafruit Qriket. Qriket is Adafruit's robotics platform that lets you use motors, servos, lights, and sound effects to make creative robotic projects. Check out Adafruit's learning system for project ideas, example code, and tutorials on using Qriket in your projects. We designed a handful of add-ons so you can mount your projects in a number of different ways. For a really nice and secure fit, we designed this mount to secure the PCB with screws and threaded inserts. Just line up the mounting holes and fasten screws into the built-in standoffs. The bottom has several slots that you can use for attaching to surfaces such as cardboard, wood, acrylic, or any other type of surface. This add-on has a slot for inserting a threaded tripod screw. It snap fits into the center of the mount and locks into place, offering a secure fit that's also removable. I like using a mini tripod and swivel ball head so that I can adjust and reposition the board in different angles. We made another add-on that is designed to secure a AA battery pack. This way you can have a portable project which can be useful if you want to make something fully contained. You'll want to install the battery pack before securing the PCB to the mount. To power Qriket, you'll need at least 4 to 5 volts DC power via the 2.1mm jack. For prototyping with Lego, we designed a special mount that allows you to snap onto standard Lego bricks. You'll need some standoffs and screws to secure the PCB. Line up 4 of the mounting holes and secure using machine screws. The tubes on the bottom of the mount fit snugly onto Lego base plates. We think this is a great way to quickly prototype projects and experiment with custom Lego builds. If you'd like, you could design your own custom add-ons or modify our existing designs. We have the 3D models of the PCB and components so you can use them in your projects. The design files are free to download and they're linked in the description of this video. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more 3D printed projects from Adafruit.
Don't forget 3D Hangouts every Wednesday with Noah and Pedro. We're printing up stuff every week.
Printing up a storm, as
Yep.
it were.
Before we get on to new products, don't forget, if you have an Adafruit account, get one. If you don't, if you do, go to your settings, and it's the only newsletter that we send out. It's a new product newsletter. It's the most popular one, and you get an email when all these new products come out. Wait, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay.
New, 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 new. New, 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 new.
Okay,
Let's do it up.
here we go.
Alright, we got a lot of new products this week, so buckle up. First up, it's a rectangle. No, this is...
We bring you rectangle.
Yeah, I know.
Much better than square.
No, this actually is square. What is this? This is a carbon filter. It's those foamy, carbony inserts that you get in your soldering fume filters, and now we just have just the filter. So
Yeah.
if you picked up one of the fans that we have from the store and you want to add a filter, not just a fan, that can absorb smells, this is it. It's very standard. It fits in almost all off-the-shelf solder fume extractors. I can also show them overhead.
Comes
but
in
it's-
Adafruit black.
Comes in black. You know, it's kind of thick. It's really easy to cut, so if you need a different shape, cut it up. A lot of people seem to like making custom 3D printed fume extractors. I've seen a couple from Mint Tins. You'll want this as well. That'll always help, especially if the fan isn't that strong. This will absorb and keep the smoke from just going straight through, and then it's still in your room.
Okay.
And it's also square.
Next up.
Battery holder. This is pretty much what it looks like. You get 4 AA batteries, you put them in, and then you get a 2.1mm DC jack. It's a standard center positive 2.1mm, so it works with just about anything. A lot of projects need about, 4.5 to 6.5 volts. This will provide it for you, and you can use alkalines or rechargeable batteries. So a great way to make your project portable. And you no longer have to solder on the DC jack. It comes with it already.
Okay. Next up.
Okay, we have 2 of these microbit connectors. These are custom-made microbit connectors specifically for the microbit. And I'll show them on the overhead. We have 2 versions. One is this right-angle version. They're both surface bent, but one, this fits flat on the board, and the microbit is parallel to the board. And we also have this, which is the vertical version, this sits perpendicular to the board, and the microbit sticks up. And I will show you both because it's worth showing both. Yeah, 2 versions, same price, different alignment. So this is the right angle version. Actually, this is used in a bunch of Pomeroni bit adapter thingies. So in this case, you plug it in. What's nice is it fits very well, and this is an SMT connector, so you can solder it very easily. Another nice thing is it only has contacts on one side. And you can kind of see there's, even though it's an 80 contact connector, 40 contacts on each side, this side of the microbit, they're not actually connected. These are just like there, but they're not used. So this way, if you put it in backwards, or even if you put it in forwards, you don't have to pay for those extra connectors. Like usually you would pay for every contact, but since only half of them are used, you only have 40 contacts and you don't have to pay as much. So these are much more compact connectors than the through-hole ones that we've stocked before. So this is the right angle one. So again, it goes flat on the board, and this plugs in with the LEDs and buttons pointing up. And then we also have this one, which has smaller pads and these dots for securing. Check the data sheet for the connection. And then let me see, the contacts are on this side. So for this, it plugs in like so. We're using this on our upcoming microbit Qriket, so you can see this plugs in very nicely and sits perpendicular to the board, very well connected, and it's a really good surface mount connector. Really easy to solder, really easy to place, and not very big, which I like. It's a very slim connector. So 2 great ways to connect your microbit to a custom circuit board.
Good, okay. Next up.
This is amazing. It's a little hard to explain though. So yeah, it's a $100 screwdriver, but let me tell you, this is so worth it. This screwdriver has a high torque motor inside and an IMU, and it can detect which way you're moving your wrist. And so you don't have to, like in the Texas version, you don't have to turn a screw like a barbarian. You just flick your wrist one way or the other, and it will automatically detect which way it is, and the motor will turn in that direction. So again, it's a little tough to explain, so let me demo it. So you got this nice stainless steel body. It's even got, CE, FCC, and it's Creative Commons. There's this button and this screw that tells you like the battery level. You can charge it over a micro USB port in the end. So if you hold the button and you twist it, see it turns in that direction. And then if I hold it and twist in the other direction, it'll twist in the opposite direction. So as I'm screwing or unscrewing parts, you just kind of like flick your wrist in that direction. This is amazing when you're putting together a bunch of parts. When we were using this, maybe I'll demonstrate it with the Qriket. We were putting together so many of these, and it's just so easy to really quickly do up all these terminal blocks and attach Qrikets to screws. It's got a good torque, but it won't strip. Like after it hits the limit, like right now it's at the limit, it will just stop. So it comes with 2 bits. It comes with a flathead bit and a Phillips bit, and then like a nice little container, and it has a little bit holder here. But you're probably wondering, man, I want some other bits. Well, this set that we carry, it's a standard, a standard size screw attachment. So you can see if you get these standard like hex screws in a kit, either from your local hardware store or this kit that we stock, you can do torque wrenches or Allen wrench or triangle or star or whatever. And so if you need more different bits to go with it, that's how I recommend you do it, just because it only comes with 2 and you might want more options. So this is totally a sonic screwdriver for the ages. You're going to love this. It is more expensive than a plain screwdriver, but if you're doing a lot of taking apart stuff, assembling stuff, you're not going to get wrist frustration, or I get cramps in my wrist if I'm constantly torquing.
Yeah, I'd say for robotics especially, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, and also like always do the calculation like time is money. If you're a consultant or doing contract work, or if you're doing things like this, speeds you up.
Also, some people who they have arthritis, they don't have full mobility in their wrists. This is great. You just
Spend
have
it
to hold
on
on to it.
on Motrin or spend it on a screwdriver.
Okay, but I really recommend it. I know people are like it's expensive, but believe me, it's worth it. It's a really great device.
Okay. Yeah, we tested here. We use it all through a lot of Qriket robotics and more. Okay, what's this?
This is a mini. It looks a lot like an Adafruit board, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's it's the Espruino Breakout. So we love carrying the Espruino boards. This is JavaScript on a microcontroller. They recently ported Espruino to the nRF52832. Again, a wonderful chip. And we put the Pixel JS in the store a couple weeks ago, which is like an Arduino shape, and it has, you can plug in Arduino compatible shields. There's an LCD on the back, but maybe you're like, I don't want something that big. I want something small that I can embed into a project. This is it. It's this photo shows it better than the overhead. It's basically got the module on it. It's got a button, and it has 2 LEDs, and all the pins broken out. You can use web Bluetooth to program it, or you can connect to the RX and TX ports. It's a little bit more for advanced people because, again, you have to solder to it if you want to use it in a breadboard. It's not as plug and play, but it's got Espruino on it, and it works great. We just love all this JavaScript stuff. We decided to go with Python for a lot of our projects, but I totally respect and understand that JavaScript is a also incredibly popular language for especially web developers. Now you can use all that stuff you've learned in web development and make hardware with it.
Okay.
Teeny hardware.
The star of the show tonight, besides you, Lady Ada, and the community out there, is this.
Yay! It's another Featherwing, powered by Seesaw. It's a teeny RGB TFT. I actually got these RGB TFTs many months ago, and I was meaning to get around and to make a Featherwing. Finally finished that off. So this is the Seesaw Feather. And as you see here, it comes with a full color 160 by 80 screen. It's very small, only 0.96 inch diagonal, but it's 180 by 60 pixels, which is pretty good. Maybe it's 160 by 80. It also comes with a 5-way joystick and 2 buttons, as well as a reset button. And the 5-way joystick plus 2 buttons, those 7 GPIO are handled by Seesaw, so that you don't have to spend any extra GPIO, especially on something like an ESP8266 or 32. You may want to save those GPIO for something. You need SPI and I2C plus 2 pins, but that's it to control all of the user interface and display. I can show it on the overhead.
One thing that's worth noting is all the companies that are using Feather as their form factor, they made out because there's
totally
unending accessories coming out of Lady Ada for Feather, and so from Particle to the Maxim folks to a lot of the companies, some we can't talk about yet because we know secrets, but it looks like Feather is, if you want to unlock an entire ecosystem of like 200 wings, just make it follow the spec and you get that.
You follow the spec, you get all these wings, and there's more coming. I mean, like,
there'll be more announcements about other.
It's not out yet, so stay tuned. So you show on the overhead. So it's got this color screen. It's actually got pretty good, pardon me, visibility, and it's pretty bright. The pixels are quite small, so like you'll see, like, it's drawing text, but it's very hard to see. You got 2 buttons, and then this joystick goes left, right, up, down. It's like a little nav switch, and then you can select in. Oh, now I take it apart. It's got this Seesaw chip that does all that for you. It also manages the backlight. And then on the back, you can see it uses SPI and I2C. And then you get to choose 2 CS and DC pins for the TFT. Everything else is managed through with the Seesaw. We're loving the Seesaw. We're cramming it into so much stuff lately. Everyone's just like, it's a Seesaw party. Why? Because these Cortex M0 chips are really inexpensive and can do all of your GPIO management for you, all over I2C, and it's tested and proven. I mean, the Qriket is Seesaw, and this is a Seesaw and a SAMD 09. So if you wanted something a little nicer than our monochrome OLED's great, but maybe you want full color and you want a full joystick and buttons, well, we finally have this for you.
Okay. Mr. Rose.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
New
product recap.
New. We got carbon filters. If you want to absorb smoke, get some carbon filters. You can make your own smoke absorber. Easy to cut. You have a bunch of double A's. You want to connect them and plug them into something with a DC jack. This is your bag. It takes 4 double A's and gives you a 2.1 millimeter standard jack. 2 connectors for the microbit. You have a microbit. This SMT connector is easy to solder, comes in both right angle and the slimmer perpendicular vertical version. Both are exactly perfect for a microbit and your next PCB design. This screwdriver is amazing. It's motorized and has an IMU, so it detects with a flick of your wrist and will either screw or unscrew pretty much anything you want to attach or detach. It's rechargeable. It's Creative Commons. It's a really amazing machine, especially if you're doing a lot of screwing or unscrewing and you don't want to hurt your wrists. This is a powerful mechanical, electric screwdriver. We've got the little Espruino NRF52 breakout. If you want to add JavaScript to your project really small, this will do it for you. So small. And finally, the Color TFT feather wing. Add a small, colorful display to any feather. You also get a 7-button interface, 2 buttons, AB, plus a 5-way joystick, up, down, left, right, and select. Worked with Seesaw and tested with all of our feathers. A great way to add a display and interface.
All right, the code, blank, 10% off native store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. We have some top secret this week.
We do.
From the vault.
Now, I want to say this is probably not going to be out before Burning Man, so before anyone asks.
Yeah, not before Burning Man, but we're almost done with it. Lady Ada, what is it?
This is a small EL wire sequencer feather wing. Now, we don't have any EL sequencing stuff in the store because I've always, I don't know, I've just never been super excited by EL sequencing.
Yeah.
I just, look, I gotta admit, like, I was never into robotics either, but then, like, it worked out, right?
Yeah.
Like, we got robotics in the store.
Here's the things that I noticed, because we talk about this every time we see an EL project. It's like, oh, is it time to do a sequencer? So there's a bunch of them out there, and it looks like everyone copied off each other, so none of them really work that great. So we wouldn't want to have like, oh, here's another one that's just like kind of not so great.
Yeah.
The other thing is there wasn't something easy for people to use like CircuitPython and something like MakeCode and something like Feather and something where it would show up as a USB drive, or it could be wireless, or it could use something like Adafruit IO, or it could use something like Bluetooth, or it could use something like Wi-Fi. So we're here now.
We're here now. So because, you know, and it's just funny, the last time we talked about EL, we didn't have Feather yet. It was a couple of years ago. We've been around for a long time. And I've been using EL for like 15 years or something ridiculous. My first Burning Man, I made an EL dress or something. So this does 4 channels of EL. You can sort of see the 4 connectors on the left and right, and you can have EL in. It's not the most advanced, incredible, does 50 feet worth of EL. It'll probably do like 10 meters. Per strip, opto-isolated. In the center, I stuck another Seesaw. So again, you can do this all over I2C. So you control it from an ESP8266 or 32 or an NRF52 from CircuitPython or Arduino very easily. Turn on and off 4 opto-isolated EL. And then if you want, you can, because it's I2C and you can stack them. If you need more, just grab a Featherwing doubler or tripler and toss 2 of these on there. Now you've got 8. So we'll see how that goes. If people really like the EL sequencer, I can make a bigger board. But I thought we'd start with a feathering for small, portable projects.
Yep.
I think another thing is a lot of EL projects that I've worked on have been wearables. They've been like in my hair and my clothing. And so having a gigantic, chunky sequencer wouldn't have worked that great anyways. Yeah. So, yeah, I just knocked this out last night. So we're going to make this proto and we'll put it together.
I think wasn't just the hardware out there that wasn't that great and it was bulky. It's just there was no easy way for anyone to do anything with it. And I like the idea of if it's as easy as to turn on and off something, like in CircuitPython, and you have something like Feather, like that's kind of the thing. And like a lot of the times it's going to be on costumes, and so you might not like have a full computer. Maybe
and like a gigantic shield or something.
Yeah, maybe you're going to use a phone to update it instead, like something very portable and lightweight, and it should show up like a drive or something. So anyways, that's what we're working on.
Okay, so that's something coming soon. Don't ask. Get back in the vault.
Get back in the vault. Okay, we're going to answer some questions. Yeah. We're over on Discord,
Adafruit.it/Discord.
That's the only place we do the questions, because there's a bunch of places
Sign up.
that if there's questions.
But this is way easier for us.
There's 2 questions
Better for
so far.
everybody. Okay.
Well, at least this first one. Can you stack seesaws by being able to set their I2C slave addresses differently?
Yes, that's right. All seesaws have at least 2 address. Actually, except for the Qriket, which I don't know why. Oh, because we didn't have any extra pins. All the other seesaws have at least 2 address pins, and there's actually a seesaw working on right now which has 5 address pins, because we expect you'll want to put up to 8 or 16 or more of them together. And then, yeah, you can just change the address by jumping that pin. So like most I2C devices, there's a little I2C select. And all different I2C feathers have different base addresses to start with. That's why I have that guide with all the I2C addresses. So we pick ones that aren't very popular, like some are used by everything, but we picked ones that are not as popular. So they're sparse I2C. It's like that Planck image. We look for the ones that are blue, and that's the addresses we pick.
Okay. Yeah, we're probably not going to give a screwdriver away tonight, but thanks for asking. For this new wing,
Yeah.
can you talk about the power requirements?
It's about 25 milliamps. The backlight is what's going to take the most power because it's an LED, so it's 20 milliamps. So you can turn the backlight off to save power.
Next up, if someone broke the wires off their little 3.7 volt battery, can they resolder them without blowing up the battery?
You can if you have a fine tip and skill, but you do risk shorting the battery. So I would recommend, if you're not an expert at soldering, take it to your lithium-ion recycling place and grab another cell from the shop. It's just it depends on your comfort with soldering a fine pitch, because you have to do the tape, and then you have to get it quite perfect, and if you short it, you're going to be really sad. But lithium-ion batteries aren't too expensive, and they're easily recyclable.
Let me check a couple more places, because I've got a couple more seconds, and then I think we are... is the Raspberry Pi any good? Yes.
Yeah, Raspberry Pi's good.
Raspberry Pi's
Good.
Yeah, I think so. And a couple people had said, thank you, Adafruit, for the open source mindset. You had me try some basic bunch of electronics, and now I found a job as an electrical engineer.
Wow.
This works.
This is working.
Yeah. And that's it for questions, folks.
Okay, cool.
Speed round. Let's give away something, Lady Ada.
We're going to give away something.
What do you want to give away?
We're going to give away one of the mini Esperino boards.
That's nice. What are the rules?
Rules are, if you've entered and won something on this show before, even if it's been 15 years or whatever, how long we've been doing it, you can't enter again. Only one winner per my lifetime on this show. The first person to call up on the phone, we have a special phone tonight.
Yeah, so this week it's the Clear Radio Shack phone.
The Clear Radio Shack phone.
Because the payphone stopped working, and there's just no time to fix it. So,
but we have a working Radio Shack
yeah,
phone.
I got it working.
It's okay. It's cool. Whoever calls the phone number when we open up the lines, I'm going to ask you your name, where you're calling from, and a project you're working on or you want to work on. And if you're able to answer those 3 questions, I will award you one of these Esperino boards. Great for if you want to learn JavaScript for hardware.
All right, the phone lines are open.
Call this number, turn it into digits, enter it into your phone system,
Yeah.
and then this thing will ring.
Theoretically.
Maybe. We'll work it out.
Yeah.
We're engineers.
Let's see. So this should ring. It lights up.
It's
It lights up, so I was going to put it underneath the overhead, maybe. Yeah. So that's the phone. Oh, look at that. It's ringing.
2 rings. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hi, can you turn down your computer audio?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's all good.
You won. You won.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, see, otherwise you're like, it's me in the past. Well, congratulations, you're the winner of some fabulous hardware here on Ask Engineer. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Dave Bauer from Cleveland, Ohio. And one of the projects I was working on is using Adafruit I/O to get to monitor the garage door status using some ESP8266 feathers.
Awesome. Well, we're going to send you out an Esperino board. Might be fun for you to maybe make another kind of Internet of Things project using Bluetooth and JavaScript. All you have to do to claim your prize is email support@adafruit.com. That's SUPPORT@adafruit.com, and say, hey, it's Dave from Ohio, and I've won a product number 3876, and they will send that to you as soon as possible.
Thank you guys. Thanks, Lady Ada. Love the show.
Okay, well, thanks for watching, and come by and show off your project on Show and Tell when you get it working. Or maybe if you don't get it working, if it's in progress.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Dave. Good night.
Okay.
All right, everybody.
All right, that's it. That's the show. Thanks, everyone. We'll do payphone repair. I have to take it apart.
We found the key.
Yeah, I think I did.
How many times have we taken apart this payphone?
Look, it's made out of payphone.
I know.
Outlive the universe.
It's probably just a loose one. Well, we'll figure it
We'll
out.
figure it out. We always do.
We have to spare one.
But you know, I got a chance to show this.
I got
phone.
the on-air sign working again.
Yeah, and this is one of those Radio Shack phones that's
These
clear.
are cool.
Yeah, so you know, I actually like the idea of maybe switching it up, because you know, as soon as you start doing the same thing for too long, you're not growing. You're a
get
dinosaur.
complacent.
Yeah,
I know.
like it's always have to be a payphone. No, because there wasn't a payphone there before. We got the idea to do a payphone, so like we
We have
should
a bunch
keep.
of rotary phones. We have that Princess phone.
Yeah, I think one of the things that might be neat is to have a different type of old type of
Those
phone.
Princess phones are loud as hell.
Yeah,
I'll get that. I'll have it on the shelf.
I think that might be. I have to like redo the Ask an Engineer area, anyways. I think that might be something we do where we have like a cool old phone instead of just a payphone, because we did the payphone thing. Yay, hackers!
It
get
is.
it,
It
yeah.
is 2600-ish, which is just totally fun.
Yeah.
But it's payphone.
We
payphone,
write for
payphone.
2600. We're speaking at Hope. I used to help run parts of
I know.
2600. It's okay to move on.
We can move on.
Yeah.
There's multiple ways of doing phones, but I like that we're sticking to phones though.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, thanks to
That's
everybody.
everything.
It was an awesome show.
Thank you all the
We will
Adafruit
see
team members.
you.
Thank you all the remote team members. Thank you everyone in
Next week.
Discord. Thank you the entire Adafruit community. Don't forget, please, Plank.
Please support Adafruit.
Yeah, 10% off in the Adafruit
We're still
store.
here.
Please let all your friends know. Buy stuff so we can keep doing this.
We're here.
I don't want to get loans or venture
your
capital
purchases
or like
pay
stop
for the
doing this.
engineering and the support,
Yeah.
the documentation, and the
It's
photography.
expensive running a company.
It is expensive. We love to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not complaining.
Actually, you know, one thing I'm gonna
Quality's expensive.
I'm gonna because if you're watching the show all the way to the end, so I'm talking to our lawyers, our employment lawyers. I mentioned this. We have an all company meeting every week, and then we have a team lead and director meeting every month. So here's our idea.
What's your idea?
So here's the idea.
I'd like to hear this.
Here's the idea. We keep adding paid time off to the team
That's right.
members, but we also want to make sure that it has an impact. So we did paid time off for charity.
So they have time to take
Any
they can take a
charity
couple
they
days
want,
off.
501(c)(3), yeah, we don't pick the charity, the employee, individual, what's important to them. New York City, there's millions of charities,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
something for everybody. You like taking care of animals, no problem. You like
You go to hospitals, that's
yeah,
fine.
no problem. You help
Volunteer
homeless,
cleaning
help
the
kids, you name it,
streets,
you can do it.
you can do it.
501(c)(3)s, all you have to do is volunteer your time, and we pay you to take
We
the
pay
day
you
off.
to take time and do something
So-
that's emotionally fulfilling.
So that we already did that.
Okay, done. That
Next
was a couple
up.
years ago.
So I was looking around, and there's there's other ideas. So I think what we're going to do is election day off.
Which in America, for the people who are not watching, America, it's on a Tuesday. It's not a federal holiday. Now you do get some time off, but it's like you don't get the full day off.
Yeah.
And sometimes
There's
those lines are
rules.
long.
There's rules, and there's
rules,
in New
there's
York, in New York State, in New York City, there's rules like you have to request and all this stuff. We just said, well, what if every company started doing that? So we did paid
That'd
time
be
off for
cool.
charity, and other companies contact us and say, hey, we want to see how you did that. We want
Yeah.
to institute that in our organization. So no matter where people are on the political spectrum, I think everyone agrees it'd be cool to have a paid day off like another holiday to go vote. So that's what we're doing. I just have
It's
to
the
get,
most American day.
I have to get the
Voting's
Martin
pretty
Luther
cool.
King Day,
We give that one
4th
off.
of July.
Give that one
Those
off.
are American holidays.
Thanksgiving, eating.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's the idea. And as soon as it's okay, we'll announce it on our blog. Because the idea is, what if we got all the maker companies in the U.S.? What if we got all the type of companies that everyone knows about, or even people work at? And they can just say, hey, look, this weirdo company in New York did it. Can we do it too? So that's the idea.
Yeah, I would love that. I think people, we're an open source company in practice and spirit, and I think not just the code and the design, but the ideas that
Yeah.
we come up with. We would. This is one
So-
that I would
so that's
be
the
happy
idea.
to see other people's copy and use.
That's why you should buy stuff, because we'll keep coming up with this stuff. And so far, the feedback has been really good. the employees said, okay, we think we can do this. It's going to be a float holiday too. So if people are just like, no, I just want to have it as like a float holiday. So we're doing this.
Some people don't need the full day off, or some people don't vote.
Yeah, and one thing I said in our meeting, I'm like, there's other companies out there that they copy our code. That's cool. Copy the look of our stuff. That's cool too. Cool. Copy all sorts of things. That's cool. Copy this too. Copy this too. That's the idea. Okay. Well, thanks everybody.
You don't even have to give us credit for it.
Yeah, steal it.
Steal it.
Steal the idea. Okay.
Steal
see you next week.
this day off.
This is your moment of Zener.
Bye. See you next week.